Hello everyone, it's Techie Me Time here, and today we're going to be talking about the upcoming Apple Fold, or as some are calling the Apple Fold Ultra. Apple's new full foldable iPhone that we're hoping comes out this year or 2027. So, without further ado, let's discuss design, spec, price, features, and do people want it? And what do I think personally? Without further ado, let's decode it. The iPhone Fold. So, I've threw up some photos of what it looks like. So, this phone is meant to be really slim, and they're aiming for absolutely no crease where the hinges are. And as I say, it is really slim, but also the main screen is small, really small. I think it's like 5 inches. No, not inches. Is it inches? I don't know, very small. I can't remember the exact spec. Inches feels big to me. I don't know, we'll see. I feel like I've probably got it in this slide somewhere. If not, I'm so sorry, and I will Google it. You know what? I've got to Google it now. 1 minute. Where is Google? Okay. iPhone Fold screen size. Because obviously, I mean, you know, the inside will be big, but the outside matters at the same time, really, doesn't it? I was right. A 5.3 inch outer display with a 7.8 inch inner OLED display, which I still think is really small. It will be a book style. It won't be like the flip phones. It'll be like a book. Like is it the Z Folds? I think it's the Z Folds, I can't remember the name, sorry guys. Okay, so the specs. I literally have it here, I knew I did. A 7.8 to 8 inch flexible OLED main screen internal. And a 5.5 inch cover screen. I'm glad I had that because it is not 5.3, 5.5. So I do still think that's small. Think about it, guys. How big? I don't know how big your normal phone screen is. I mean, definitely not only 5.5. I know that is quite small because obviously in the run up to making this video, I had to go through different reviews of different tech YouTubers to gather my own opinion. Okay, let's move on. It will have an A20 or an A20 Pro chip. I mean, for the price, which we'll talk about later, you would expect it to at least be a beefy chip. You're not going to pay nearly $3,000 for a phone that's not powerful and strong. And obviously, as we all know about Apple, you are stuck in that walled garden, so once you buy this Fold, well, you're going to ultimately want an iPad, a MacBook, or Apple Watch, AirPods, and if you're weird and a full-on Apple fanboy, a HomePod, which I don't see the point in. I mean, we do know all the Apple fanboys will be going crazy over this. Apple glazers will love this, which good for them, you know. They're finally getting a foldable phone that Apple has put off for years. Just because they didn't want a crease. But, you know, Apple don't necessarily like to be ahead of innovation anymore. They used to be. Back when Apple was first starting and they introduced the first touchscreen smartphone. That was amazing. And then they sort of shifted away from it, in my opinion. Well, in a lot of people's opinion. They shifted away from having these innovations. I mean, the way I see it is the next iPhone may also end up with privacy display like Samsung with S26 Ultra. I mean, it's inevitable, isn't it? Because You go from having that on one phone screen, then that becomes a craze, and then every other phone brand's going to want it. And we all know that, and that's not a problem, really. Okay, next, I sidetracked there. Sorry, guys. It'll have likely a 4-camera system, so it'll have a dual 48 megapixel rear cameras, and a front-facing outer camera, and a potential under-display inner camera. Wow. To my knowledge, Apple has not had an under-display inner camera, which is, once again, huge innovation from Apple. You know, wow. Huge innovation, wow. Like, that's what we want. That's what we want this year. We need innovation because, obviously, Samsung's coming ahead with our privacy display. So Apple needs to bring something to the table that maybe in a privacy display, even though Samsung and a lot of different Android phone makers has had under display their cameras. We need that'll be a huge thing for Apple fanboys and general Apple consumers. Wait, has Samsung had an under display in a camera? Someone tell me in the comments. I feel like they have, but at the same time I could be wrong. So that will be good, and I hope that does happen. And I will, as soon when this comes out, if it does, I would love to get my hands on it to do a hands-on review on the channel, because I know you would appreciate that. Okay, this is what I didn't like. It'll have Touch ID integrated into the power button rather than Face ID. I mean, look, I love it, but at the same time, I like Face ID. It's not like how on Samsung your Touch ID's in the screen instead of on the power button now, which I would prefer it in the power button. I don't like it in the screen. I feel like it always messes up my fingers and it doesn't work right, and it annoys me. But I'd love to know how you guys feel, because I know that is definitely going to be a controversial one. Like, not a lot of people like that. And, you know, I guess people won't care because it's going to be the first foldable iPhone, which will be absolutely amazing, as I've said. But I would love to know how you feel, because I do not like that. I really do not like that. Price. The Apple foldable iPhone is projected to cost between $2,000 and $2,500 in the US, with UK prices likely ranging from £2,000 to £2,500. So the price is pretty much the same, but still, it is near enough to $3,000, and $3,000. And I do think it will be that much. I do think it will shoot up to 3,000 with the cost of things and the Ramageddon. Because if we can't have enough RAM chips, that's ultimately going to go up. And there is 12 gigabytes of RAM in this thing. I mean, I know that's not a huge amount, but still, it's going to go up. I think we all can agree on that. And weirdly, people want it. Personally, after looking at the specs, I don't want it. Like, obviously if it was made, as I've said, I would want it to do a review and see what it's actually like. But this isn't a product that's going to make my life better or easier. Like, I see foldable phones as a gimmick. I don't even like the Samsung Folds. I've never wanted them. I see them as something that you buy, think's really cool for a bit, and then don't love. And it's just a phone. I mean, sure, it'd be great for the Apple fanboys who are like graphic designers, stuff like that. But for me and a lot of people, it's not necessarily something people need or want, really. But people do want it, and you can't deny that. I did contradict myself there, didn't I? But yeah, people want it, and that's not something we can just be mad at. You can't like take people wanting a phone away. I don't blame them, especially with people who swear by Apple and would love to see the fold design on an iPhone. This will be amazing for them. So at the same time, I'm sort of happy for them because, like, you know, it's a bit of freedom, like a bit more customizability. I mean, it's not necessarily customizability, but it's different. It'll be a bit different. But still, the screen in my eyes is too small. I wouldn't want that screen. I just wouldn't. My final thoughts. Will it happen? 100%, yeah. Oh, what has happened there? Sorry, guys. Oh, I want to go on. No. Is it a good idea? Yeah, it's a good idea. That's undeniable. You can't say that it's not going to be good, it's not going to sell well, because it will. Apple will make thousands of this, millions, dare I say, because people just want a new phone. And I mean, people watching this video, tech enthusiasts, are going to agree on that with me. People just want a new flashy design. I mean, is there the chance it'll die off? Yeah, 100% it will. But as I said, it will sell good, and that's what matters, I guess, really. It will sell good, meaning Apple gets the money, and Apple consumers will be happy. Which is ultimately what we want. We want the consumer market to enjoy the phone and it be usable. And I guess really that's all that really we should care about. But, you know, we're tech enthusiasts. How can we not care about everything else? That's just not how life works. So yeah, that's my thoughts. This is a short video. As you can probably tell, this is unscripted. I have just went with this and ran with it. And hey, it took way less shots than it normally does. I remember my first video, it took me like over 10 shoots to get it because there were certain words where I just like, well, so yeah, tell me, do you like scripted videos or unscripted? And I will try and go the format you prefer. So, I've been taking me time. That's where we decode your tech. Have fun, and don't decode your own life, unless it's needed. Goodbye, everyone.